Just like Bruce Wayne has Batman, so too does the Lamborghini Huracan have a meaner, edgier and more hardcore alter ego. It's known as the STO, and like Batman, it's clad in carbon fiber armor and has wings to help it fly. But unlike Batman, it doesn't use its powers to battle crime. It fights the Mercedes-AMG GTR and Porsche 911 GT3 RS at the racetrack. So, Lamborghini's Huracan STO, superhero or superfluous? So, how much do you have to save up for one of these lean and mean Lambos? Well, unfortunately, it's a case of if you have to ask, you're already too late, because all 80 Australian examples are spoken for. The sticker price on this car though, it's $596,000 before on-road costs, making it the most expensive Huracan in the range, and more than $200,000 pricier than the entry-level Huracan rear-wheel drive Evo. This particular car in front of me here, it's also got $260,000 worth of options, including that exposed carbon fiber body kit.
But what exactly do you get for your spend? Well, equipment doesn't quite run the gamut like it does in most cars, but there are some notable features. There's the push-button start that is found on the center console, keyless entry, electric windows and electronically adjustable seats, 20-inch center lock wheels, as well as a portrait-style multimedia touchscreen. The touchscreen also houses climate control, satellite navigation and Bluetooth connectivity, but equipment that you would usually find in cars a fraction of the price, such as a reversing camera, Apple CarPlay support and cruise control, are relegated to the options list here in this Lamborghini. And for Android users like me, sorry, no smartphone mirroring for you.
Look, I'll level with you. The Huracan STO doesn't really make sense to buy as a car. It's under-equipped and arguably too expensive compared to some of its rivals. But then again, you don't buy a Lambo with your head, do you? You buy it with your heart, and my heart is totally smitten. And there's also an argument that can be made that this is going to be the last of Lamborghini's mid-engined, naturally aspirated V10 models. But then again, you probably shouldn't take financial advice from a guy wearing a beanie. Starting with the already sexy Huracan as a base, the STO adds a number of track-focused enhancements, namely a lot of carbon fiber. In fact, 3/4 of this car is made up of carbon fiber, including the front cowl, the rear deck lid and both bumpers. In total, you're going to save about 43 kilograms compared to a Huracan Performante, which doesn't seem like all that much, but tipping the scales at just 1,400 kilos makes this car lighter than even a Honda Civic. At the back, there's a massive, and I mean massive, rear wing that can generate 420 kilograms of downforce at 280 kilometers an hour. Have I tested that claim? No, but given the wing is a dead ringer for the same one found in the Huracan GT3 Evo race car, I'm inclined to believe Lamborghini on this one. Some might say the Huracan STO looks a bit too gaudy, like something your awkward 8-year-old nephew might drive in one of his video games, but I say that's the point. In a sea of supercars wearing Ferrari, Porsche and McLaren badges, this certainly holds your attention. Inside, the STO is about as sparse as a $600,000 car can get away with. I mean, you can option whatever materials and colors you like, that is, if your wallet is big enough, but there's not a whole lot to talk about in here. You've got the shifter that is relegated to these buttons down here, which leaves the center tunnel free for this portrait-style multimedia system that also houses climate controls, and you get some exposed carbon fiber around the air vents and these fabric straps as door handles. But there is one other notable feature. Come check this out. There's no indicator or wiper stalks because that would just get in the way of the paddle shifters. So those functions are now found as steering wheel buttons. Neat. You've seen the lengths that Lamborghini has gone to strip out the STO, so don't expect niceties like a cup holder. I mean, practicality as a whole in here can be described as less than ideal. You've got a glove box that will house literally nothing. There's a little tray here for sheets of paper. There's another small tray behind the multimedia system, and there's a little bit of storage behind the front seats. But if you option in that roll bar, it really does eat into a lot of room. I will say that this car is so low to the ground, it can be a little bit hard to get in and out of. So if you're over 50, please remember to limber up before getting in and out. And if you're worried about how low this car actually is, well, you can option in a front nose lift kit, which will help with those steeper inclines and speed bumps. Boot space? It's practically non-existent. But then again, practicality is not the name of the game here. To even open the front cowl and access the storage cubby, you need this special key, which opens the front cowl and exposes this teeny tiny storage cubby, big enough for just the car cover or maybe even a weekend race helmet. This key is also how you access the Lamborghini Huracan STO's crowning jewel. It's 5.2 litre V10, but you actually need 2 people to lift the engine cover. So let me introduce you to JP. This V10 engine outputs 470 kilowatts and 565 Newton meters. And I guess in a world where supercars are easily pushing past 500 kilowatts, do these outputs look a little bit lackluster? Sure, on paper, the Huracan STO is a bit down on power and torque compared to some of its rivals, but this V10 engine makes those outputs without the use of a turbocharger and without any hybrid assistance. That's right, this is a naturally aspirated 5.2 litre V10 that redlines at 8,500 RPM and is likely the last of its kind that Lamborghini will build. Paired to the engine is a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, which sends drive exclusively to the rear axle. That's right, this is a mid-engine rear-wheel drive supercar. Terrifyingly exciting, right? 0 to 100 takes just 3 seconds, and by the time it takes you to tie your shoelaces, the Huracan STO will have clipped 200 kilometers an hour, and if you're doing a double loop, well, it's already finished the quarter mile.
Official fuel consumption figures for the STO are pegged at 13.9 litres per 100 kilometres, but I averaged a little bit north of that in my time with the car, with a reading of 15.9 litres per 100 kilometres. The Huracan STO also comes equipped with engine start-stop, helping you save a little bit of fuel in traffic situations. There's no doubting a smaller displacement engine or even electrification will help at the Bowser for a future model, but for the time being, let's just enjoy this 5.2 litre V10 and all its shortcomings while we still can.
So, full disclosure, I don't actually have access to a private racetrack, so my drive impressions will be on Melbourne's public roads. And look, the Huracan STO looks really intimidating and hardcore on the outside, but it's surprisingly easy to live with day to day. All the ingredients are there for a really engaging driving experience. There's that naturally aspirated V10 just behind my head for optimal weight distribution and rear wheel drive. You kind of just point the nose wherever you want to go, plant the foot, and just feel the way the rear end is reacting. It's just really analog to drive, and because there's no turbos, power and torque is available almost instantaneously, and that exhaust note, oh, that is something that will be sorely missed. And what really inspires confidence is the STO's rear wheel steering. And for those that don't know, it means that the rear axle can turn independently of the front wheels. It just makes turning razor sharp and makes the Huracan STO that much more agile. And what I really like about it is that it's a mechanical solution to faster lap times, an ethos that is carried out throughout the rest of the car. Another key aspect to what makes the STO so confidence-inspiring to drive are its brakes. Seriously, the front discs are larger than a Domino's family pizza. They're also made of carbon, and there's even a brake fluid temperature gauge inside the cabin, so you know when you've cooked it. It is serious stopping power and inspires serious confidence to brake later into a corner, and it just makes this that much easier to drive for mere mortals like myself. The 305 wide Bridgestone rear tyres also offer phenomenal levels of grip, and if you're pushing this car hard enough where the rear end is going to let go, you've probably cooked it. But what about ride and comfort? Surely a track special supercar like the Huracan STO has to have a back-braking suspension tune, right? Well, surprisingly no. In its most tame STO setting, it's actually pretty plush around town, and a large part of that has to do with these seats. Overseas, you can option in some hardcore bucket seats with racing harnesses, but of course, they don't clear Australian design rules, so we get these plush and comfortable seats that actually hug you in all the right places and do a great job at absorbing some small bumps. Is it flawless though? Well, no. I am nitpicking here, but the biggest letdown is probably the 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. It suffers the same shortcomings as every other DCT, which means at slower speeds it can be a bit clunky and a bit jerky. When you're flat footing it, it is fantastic though, but it is an area of concern. Another slight against the STO is its visibility, or I guess more accurately, lack of. You look in the rearview mirror and all you see is engine cover and that optional roll bar, which means you're relying on the side mirrors to work out what's behind you. It can make lane changes a bit terrifying if you're not paying attention. Out on a racetrack though, that shouldn't be a problem because you're just focused on what's in front anyway.
Also soon to be a relic of a bygone era is the STO's lack of any advanced safety features. That's right, for $600,000 you don't get autonomous emergency braking or lane keep assist or adaptive cruise control. In fact, you have to option in a reversing camera. And before you ask, no, this car is not being crash tested by ANCAP or any other safety body around the world. And while the lack of safety might seem like a negative, I imagine when this car is out on a racetrack and there are no distracting beeps and bongs, you'll be glad there are no electronic nannies. Look, I imagine if you can afford a Huracan STO, you'll likely be able to afford the upkeep too. Lamborghini Australia has not divulged the specific servicing costs of the Huracan STO, but scheduled maintenance is every 12 months or 15,000 kilometers, whichever occurs first. The Huracan STO also comes with a 3-year unlimited kilometer warranty.
This is one of the most ostentatious cars I have ever driven. If you want every single teenage boy to shout, "How much?" and every tradie to yell, "Do a burnout" as you drive past, this is the car for you. And while that does get old pretty fast, it's worth it. It absolutely is worth it because the Huracan STO turns every driveway, every corner, every speed bump, every traffic light into pure theatre. Take a bow, Lamborghini Huracan. You will be missed.